Sorry, fuck the dog.
I can't even do the intro. Oh, man. Here we go. What's going on, everybody? I just can't.
There's a new record 2 seconds
man.
before the fucking derailment.
I was in the middle of pressing record, and already you got me. All right. What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of Wrestling with Tomorrow. I am your host, Mike Kinney, and with me today...
It's me. Don't adjust your TV. No, wait. This is your PC. I'm not Fonzie, not Sabu, not RVD. I'm the unforgettable, unimaginable, unmentionable most times. I'm your co-host, Randy Herrig. What's up, dude?
Well, that's a tough act to follow, my friend. But it feels like it's been a very, very long time since we've recorded. But in all actuality, it's been 2 weeks. Isn't that crazy?
Been an fucking eternity, I thought.
There's been dude. There's been so much that's happened in the last 2 weeks, and I think we're going to get into most of that today. Last time we were together, we had a lot to talk about when it comes to mental health, men's mental health, self-confidence, also Lucha Libre being the Lucha Union promotion that you and I are going to start running in Austin, Minnesota at the El Peral Ballroom. We're going to talk all about that later on in this episode. But really, do you want to kick us off today? What do you want to talk about? You tell me.
I want to ask the viewers something. Don't you hate it when you watch something and someone's like, hey, this is going to be awesome. We'll talk about it later. Don't you hate that shit?
Well, then let's fold in some Lucha Union talk as we go. So first of all, let's fold it in. I have a bit of an agenda in front of me, some bullet points, if you will. I want to talk about flexibility. So flexibility, and not as a gymnast, but
good
in life, yeah. Because you and I, when it comes to flexibility,
I'm totally fooked.
I don't even think I can sit cross-legged on the floor anymore. Flexibility in life when things don't go as planned. Randy, how do you respond? Just in general. We can talk about career. We can talk about supper. We can talk about whatever you want. How do you respond?
Well, I try not to get upset or mad, depending on what's going on. I try to just think of, okay, what's the best way to handle this? Or, what's the best option? What are my options? And pull the trigger and move forward as best as I can, in a real general sense.
Yeah. I think it's some of that comes with like age for most people anyway. Like the maturity level kind of kicks in at some point where maybe you respond. I mean, I can think back, like I'm thinking back like in the early wrestling days. All right. So let's go back like 25 years. Let's go back to when a young 16 and 17-year-old Mike Kinney was running pro wrestling shows with a bunch of people that were frankly older than him, and was trying to balance like being a student in high school, going through like teenage changes, running a business. In hindsight, I mean, that's really what it was, is running a business. Is I'm promoting shows and I'm trying to learn the craft of actual physically wrestling in the ring. So no matter how anybody wants to paint what kind of shows these were, for all intents and purposes, they were professional wrestling shows, right? So
we got paid.
And when things didn't go my way back then, I wasn't always the most flexible in that. Well, yeah, I mean, like, I remember, like, again, I'm a teenage kid and have a very specific vision. And if it didn't go the way I envisioned it, I didn't have the smarts enough to, pivot quickly and react to things that were going on around me. It just wasn't something that I'd learned at that point in my life. But I don't think that makes me any different than kids about that same age.
No, dude, like everybody goes through that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you like see something would happen and you'd get upset because you know what you're trying to do and you care so much about it. And suddenly things aren't going the way that you got it figured out. Somebody didn't show up, somebody's late, something's going on. And you're like, Argh! That's normal. A lot of people, dude. Everybody does it, I think, still. Yeah. Honestly,
And I'm like, if I'm thinking about like how things, like now, I would like to say that I'm much more flexible in the sense that like I've already worked through in my mind what plans, B, C, and D are probably, And so
Right.
I can move to one pretty quickly, and I don't have to get necessarily set in my ways in that way. But I think that's probably a big key to it is like, what's the old cliche? It's like, hope for the best, plan for the worst.
I
That kind of
prefer making chicken salad out of chicken shit.
okay. Yeah, I mean there is that, or what's the other one? When life gives you lemons, say fuck it and go home. Like I saw
Da,
that on a
da,
movie list.
da, da.
Yep, yep.
Nah, man, like you now to me when we talk about working on things and whatever, you're much more analytical.
Hmm.
Before it was like idealistic, this is what I want, this is exactly what I see, and you don't understand exactly what I see, so it's not what I want necessarily.
Yeah.
And I think over the years you've learned, okay, I'm going to set up for a couple other options ahead of time to kind
Hmm.
of make sure that things go okay, they go smoothly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly,
And
I see it a lot compared
well, I
to
mean,
the kid back then.
yeah. If you look at the way we're doing it now, and what I'm talking about specifically is like, let's talk about these lucha shows. Okay, so Lucha Union, we're going to run our first show November 22nd, 2025. All right. Randy and we've gone over this in another pod. We have a history together of running shows together, but it's been about 20 years since we've run anything together. I would like to think that my life experience, my education, my professional experience, all of this stuff kind of got me to this moment where I can look at what we're doing and say, okay, Randy has a very specific role with Lucha Union. I have a very specific role with Lucha Union. I need to remember to stay in my lane and he's going to stay in his. And that's just the way it's going to be. Right. And the example is right this second, we're kind of going back and forth via text or phone calls or whatever. And we're trying to book the card for the show. We're booking talent. So the way this is working is I'm booking the talent and Randy is booking the matches and setting the story forward on how these things are going to go. And we're bouncing ideas off of each other. And I'm kind of going, okay, man, we got these many guys on the roster. Here's what the budget looks like. What else do you need? And so we're just kind of like working through all of that. Now, the key to this is to understand that in business, like there will be times where things will go awry or things will feel uncomfortable or things will be like, man, that guy's being a dick or whatever, right? But if you
Yep.
maintain professionalism and know that everybody that is seated at that table is approaching the whole project in a way that they're really coming from a good place to be able to do all of these things. It's well intended. I think that it goes a lot better if everybody's roles are set, you have other plans, and you can work collaboratively.
Yeah. Yep. And a little bit of tolerance and a little bit of respect for other people's ideas too goes a long ways. Whether
Yeah.
you agree or not, being
Yep.
able to listen and say, okay, I get what you're saying. Maybe we can do this
Right.
and get it in the ballpark where they don't feel like they've been ignored and you don't feel like you're not getting what you want.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
a lot of times a little bit of flexibility and just a little respect go a long ways.
And part of that, when we talk about the mental health aspect of it, like being a man, and I'd like to think like, I'm a man, like whatever that's whatever that stereotype is, that's who we
I,
are, Randy.
I bet you're
Um,
William Regal, but I don't have a construction hat.
True. When I think of
Such a man.
man, oh man, oh man, man, oh man, what's that song, right? Kid Crazy used to come out to the ring to it.
Yeah, I'll be your man, 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 man. I hope
And
Crazy watches this, dude. Where
I
are you?
hope
In
so.
California still? I missed you, brother.
Oh, no, I believe he's in Arizona. But
What? What's
and
in
yeah,
Arizona? Sand and scorpions?
probably lower cost of living, I would suspect.
I about guarantee that.
So part of being a macho man, no Aaron, not macho man Randy Savage. What I'm specifically talking about, that's the first no Aaron, by the way.
Yeah, it was
When
you. It wasn't me.
that's true. um Men. So generally speaking, the stereotype is men don't ask for help, they don't ask for directions, they don't do a lot, right? We try to just figure it out on our own. We don't read the instructions. IKEA setups are our absolute worst nightmare because not only are they just pictures, but we don't need them anyway, so we throw them out the window and away we go. So when it comes to like I'm thinking specifically about, this Lucha Union experience right now. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room anymore. I just don't. Like I'm the guy that's going to move the product forward, but I don't want to have all of the responsibility falling on my shoulders for every single aspect of every single show. So part of what I'm doing right now is specifically leaning on people who are smarter than me in a lot of ways or have more experience than I do. Um,
Or
and
when you're
I'm
not
asking them for help.
strong.
There you go.
Yep.
But I'm just trying to lean on others as you're going down that road. I don't want to run the promotion alone. Yep, there you go. Randy's clapping now. I don't want to run the promotion alone. So again, Randy's booking the card, I'm booking the talent and finding advertisement or advertisers rather. Oh, and if you're looking to advertise with our shows, we are doing all kinds of things. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to make a little note for myself to talk about that at the end of the pod. Advertising. There we go. My note has been made. I am falling way off topic. Oh, I know what it was. Asking for help. So this last weekend, I had the absolute pleasure of talking to two people and asking them for help when it comes to Lucha Union. One of them, and I'm not going to name the names at this point because we're still kind of in negotiation back and forth with what we're going to do. Both of them are in. It's just a matter of how far in. I've essentially talked to two people that I know. Yeah, see, as soon as I said it, Randy, I knew it. Right, as soon as it came out of my mouth,
You're trying to
uh,
pop me and it didn't work.
it didn't work. But both of them have varying levels of experience in the professional wrestling world, and I want to bring both of them on as a producer for the shows. And a producer, what does that mean? It could mean a variety of things. Maybe they're helping the talent with their matches, maybe they're helping just be a runner the day of the show and get things organized. Whatever it is, they're in. One of them is someone who I started wrestling with 25 years ago, and I actually wrestled him in my match at the El Peral Ballroom, formerly the Turp Ballroom, April 15th, 2000. So if you know who that person is, just know that person is going to be involved behind the scenes in some form or faction in the near future with these shows.
And,
Um,
and
mhm.
know that I have mega heat with this son of a bitch. No, no, I really don't.
No, Randy
But
does not.
you know who you are out there, and you're going to see this and you're going to find out that I really don't. So chill.
Yeah. Time heals all. It is what it is. Now, the other person that I talked to, I hadn't met before. And I know that this person has an incredibly diverse background in the wrestling business. I saw that they're doing some really cool things in the Minnesota area, and I had to meet this person. So I took them to lunch. We sat and had a very long business conversation about who they are, who I am, and what we both can bring to the table. And I do believe that person will begin to get involved with the Lucha Union shows in 2026. So that's pretty exciting for me. Randy knows who the person is at this time. I'm just not going to share that yet, but just know we're about to set the world on fire.
And I think it's probably okay to mention it's a she. So
She.
oftentimes in wrestling, especially indie wrestling, it don't seem like behind the scenes there's a lot of women doing things. They work a lot of matches sometimes, but you don't hear of a lot of behind the scenes help and work that way. And I think that's it's a good thing that we will have a woman's point of view on some of the things too. I mean, we've never really just steered that way before for whatever reason. It's nothing against women, but
Well, we don't always get that luxury. I mean, you kind of said it yourself, is that
right,
they're just, especially back in the day, there just weren't very many women involved in the business, and the ones that were,
right.
they wanted to be on the shows. And women's professional wrestling has evolved so far in the last couple of decades. Nobody can argue that. And luckily, this person is a former wrestler, and she's opening a wrestling school and doing all these really cool things. And she's wrestled all over the world. And you're right, having somebody else's perspective is, especially someone like her, is going to really help us reap the benefits of
Hmm.
everything that we're looking to accomplish. Um, so yeah, again, this goes back to what I said. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. I want to lean on what everybody else has to bring to the table. I've even reached out to a person who's just a fan. They've been a fan of lucha wrestling for decades. Um, I don't know them. I know them through listening to other podcasts. And I reached out to this person and essentially from an advisory perspective and said, hey, I'm starting a lucha company. Like, what are some do's and don'ts that I need to know about right out of the gate? So again, the kind of that humbling moment, just reaching out to strangers and just asking questions. And if you're anybody that's listening to this right now, one of the things that I teach my sales teams when I'm training them, like if I were to leave my sales team tomorrow and they go, okay, what did you learn from Mike? They will repeat this to you. They will say, those who ask for more get more. I say that all the time. I teach that to my kids, and it is so true. You cannot get where you need to be unless you're going to ask for it. Sometimes you just got to ask for it.
And yeah, sometimes it's just simply that the other person hasn't thought of it for whatever reason. You bring it up, and hey, okay.
Yeah, that is true.
But it's also, in a work situation, the people that bust their ass and do a good job get more responsibilities. The person that doesn't do shit, nobody asks them to do shit because they don't do shit.
Yeah, what's funny about that too is like thinking back about some of my professional career, not wrestling, but like my day job stuff. Um, one of the things I had to learn the hard way was managing perception. And so I'll give you an example. I had this desk job for a year, and I
Under,
would what's that?
under,
Under a year?
no, under the desk.
Oh, under the desk. Ah, I see.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're full of jokes. This guy full of jokes. So I had to, I'm doing this job. So I go in at like, I don't know, let's say 7:30 in the morning was my start time. So I would get in like, I don't know, 7:15, and I would just start hammering on the work. And I was a salary employee. I wasn't punching in, I wasn't punching out. So I would get in at 7:15, and by like 2 o'clock, all of my stuff for that day and most of it for the next day were probably done. And I'm just like a machine, man. I'm just go, 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 go. And then so I would just, again, I'm salary employee. I show up, I knock out all my work, and then I go home. On my way out the door, I always had to go by the boss's office, and they would see me leaving early. And in their mind, oh look,
Mm.
Mike's leaving early again. And I didn't understand that at first because I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm incredibly efficient. Like, you're lucky to have me, frankly. And that just wasn't the right mindset to have. And so finally, somebody sat me down. And they were like, "Look, dude, here's what's really going on. Yep, yes, you're being efficient, but you need to learn to like how to manage the perception around that." So in addition to those who ask for more get more, I try to have my sales reps understand how to manage perception. I also think about, had I learned that lesson in professional wrestling, how that would have elongated my career. If you're a pro wrestler out there and you're listening to this, or you're any field, frankly, in any field at all, if you are not managing the perception of the people around you to make it, because if you're in charge of that, right? You want to make them think that you are the cream of the crop. So if you're not doing that, then you're doing it wrong. And you can manage that. You are in charge of that. And there are various ways to do it. Depends on what industry you're in, depends on what the job is, and so on and so forth. But your main goal is to manage perception. And just Randy, for a second, imagine if they taught you that at wrestling school. Like, you're not just learning wrestling moves and how to do promos and stuff, but like I'm going to teach you the business. Okay, well then do it right, because managing perception is one of those things.
Yeah, the actual in-ring work is probably a third of the stuff. There's so many other things involved, locker room politics and all kinds of things. But whether we're talking wrestling or not, if you can teach yourself to appear like you're confident, even if you're not, you don't know what to do, you're scared shitless. If you can appear like you're confident, other people will think you are, and they're going to think, oh, okay, let's do this. Let's do
Yeah.
this. I think
And
that's
because
a big thing.
for sure, because what happens is frankly, sometimes people just want to be led, and they will follow the most confident person in the room because they might not necessarily have it. Um, I've definitely learned that over my years. If you're the most confident person in the room, you look out, because the people who want to be led will follow you.
Yes, confident not cocky.
There's a fine line.
Mm-hmm.
There is a fine
Be
line.
the guy that everybody wants to talk to and wants to be
Yep.
around, not the guy that nobody wants to talk to because they're a dick.
True. And you think about this, like we all want to be the expert in whatever field it is that we're in. We want to be the
Yeah.
go-to person. All of us do. And so if you're constantly creating an environment where people are walking on eggshells around you, what's going to happen is it's the same thing if you were to go to a store and they don't have what it is you're looking for and you have to go to another store to find it. You're not going to go back to that first store because they've let you down, right? And
Yep.
you've now you're going to stop going there. They're no longer your go-to source. This environment that I'm talking about is the exact same thing. If you want to be the go-to person in whatever field it is that you're in, do not create an environment where people have to walk on eggshells to be around you, because they will stop coming to you, and then your value, your worth diminishes rapidly.
Right. Well, then your higher ups and everybody else knows too that, well, he's been asking somebody else.
Yeah.
I don't see him talking to you anymore. Like maybe
Yeah.
that's the guy.
Yep. There are some problems that come with this. I mean, don't get me wrong, man,
Sure.
because I find myself in this situation pretty regularly where like
Hey.
I'm around people who want to be led. I lead them. I do my job incredibly effectively. And then other, people who are at parity with me, people who are my peers and not necessarily people I report to, they start to get kind of like weary, or they get, they start to have to do some self-reflection and look at their way. I become a threat to them in some way. And I have to
Good.
deal with that pretty regularly. And it's an uncomfortable environment to be in, because I'm just doing my job. I'm trying to make everybody better. And because they aren't very good at their job, I become the threat and I become the target. And it's happened to me. And so I'm just saying, you just need to be able to like watch for that also, because I'm kind of learning that as I go.
That's an uncomfortable thing when somebody comes in and they know what they're doing and people believe them or know that they're telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly you can't be on autopilot anymore because you've worked in the job for 5 years and it's same thing all the time.
Yeah. You
And
take a look,
suddenly you
like,
got to change and you got to,
for
yeah,
sure. Wrestling's the same way. Everybody talks about like, oh, this guy's going to come and take my spot. It's the same thing. You just need to create more value then.
don't let them.
Right.
You got to
Exactly.
get better. You got to be the reason. And it's almost like a bar or a restaurant. There's got to be a reason that they come to you.
Mhm.
There's a million places to go eat or have a beer, but why do they want to come through your front door? What's going to make them choose yours out of everything else?
Yep.
Whether it's, a store, online shopping stuff, or the zillion pro wrestlers that want to make it to the big time. Why in the hell are they going to pick you? You got to tell them why. You got to show them why. They
Yeah, you're
won't know it themselves. You got to show them something. You'll get lost in the crowd if you don't.
without a doubt. And that's a tough spot to be in too, because if you get lost in the crowd, you're already in a flooded market. Any field right now is a flooded market. Doesn't matter which one it is. You just have to be able to stand out from the herd. So sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I think I've come up with something. It's a brand new occupation.
Oh God.
And the market is not saturated. It could be, but for hire, if you miss the old days when the kid would be scared and come and sleep in your bed, if you need me to, I'll come in and I'll sleep next to you. I won't touch you or nothing, but I will piss the bed. And then, if you miss this, getting up at 2:00 in the morning and washing laundry, and you could have the experience again.
So if you're looking for a professional bedwetter, look no further than Randy Herrig. He can be found at Randy_Herrig_wrestling W tomorrow. No blue check mark because it's his longest handle on Instagram.
That's because they're jealous. They're jealous AF because it's the longest.
A professional bedwetter. Well,
And it's not just the coolest, it's not just the best, but it certainly isn't from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, if I can be serious for a minute.
Wow.
It's
You
just
just
incredible. Okay, sorry.
wow.
Sorry.
That
I had
was
an
that was for all
episode.
those.
I apologize.
Yeah, Randy forgot to take his meds this morning, but that was for all you ECW fans out there. You just got the world's worst impersonation of Just Incredible. So, also, as we're talking about this Lucha Union experience that's
Unbelievable.
about to unfold in front of us, it's a huge project. It's a much bigger project than I remember wrestling being. But if you're going to do it right, and the person that I told you that I had lunch with, she had said to me, like, don't book guys who suck. Like that was basically what she was saying. And I kind of appreciate that. She's got the same attitude that I do about talent. And it's like, don't book guys who suck. If they've been wrestling for decades and they're not any better, if they've been wrestling for a couple of years and they're not any better, they're not going to get any better. Like, don't book them. Book the best talent that you can afford was her message to me. And man, that just like was such a home run to me. And I just keep thinking about like this project that we're working on, and what a great outlet it is for mental health for people to have different projects to work on. So I think back
Yes.
about to COVID and the big C
Fuck
word.
COVID.
I know, right? And
You COVIDs.
the everything was kind of strange back then, if you remember. Everyone kind of had a little side project they were working on to just kind of balance their mental health. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that people were doing those kinds of things?
They were unfulfilled. Everybody's staying home. They don't have the social life that they had. You can't meet up with people on Friday and have a drink after work. You can't go to the movies with your friends necessarily. Different things like that. Suddenly now you're home.
Yeah.
And either you're working from home or you're in a job that you're not able to do that. And if you're not, then you're not able to work either, which, you know, it's a big stress not having that money, but it's a big stress too, screwing with your daily routine.
Mm-hmm.
You get used to doing the stuff, get up, have breakfast, shower, go to work, do this whole thing every day, and suddenly you're not doing that. So people were looking for a lot of other outlets to put their energy into. A lot of people started new hobbies.
Yeah.
I know card collecting, baseball cards and all that stuff skyrocketed
Yeah.
during that, and it's still a big boon right now where cards are so expensive.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
outrageous to buy just a box of cards. It's
Yeah.
crazy. But that a lot of that, the catalyst was people are sitting home. What can we do? Well, we
Yeah.
can order this and we can look through them with the kids, or we can do whatever, or you know, we could do that. So
You're right.
what
Yeah.
you
One
gonna
of the
say, dude?
No, I think one of the biggest things that I think it created. So like one of so my side project, like I'm always very like, you know, like hands-on artsy type stuff, just to keep busy. And one of the things I started doing was like creating like custom pro wrestling figures. And
Right.
I was doing lots of them and they were turning out incredible. And I was selling them for an ungodly amount of money. And at one point, I was posting them online on a different Instagram handle, and I was generating thousands of followers because I was doing things like I recreated 1/12 scale ECW arena, and it was down to the detail. And I have so many like old wrestling videos and DVDs and stuff, and I was like going through some of those that were filmed in the ECW arena before and after ECW even existed, and I was like getting details off the back walls, and I was like making sure I had everything. Well, what was happening is that as I would post this stuff, I was creating a community, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's one of the biggest things that comes out of having a mental health project of any kind is you're creating a sense of community in some way. Lucha Union is going to be that exact same thing. Lucha Union is a community that is going to develop over years of experience, and I don't even know where to begin with it. It's just such an exciting project.
Yeah, man. There are lucha companies out there, but there are far less, especially in the Midwest, than there are of just a wrestling company.
Yeah.
Something that actually focuses on lucha or even Japanese strong style.
Mm-hmm.
There's very few that are just that kind of thing, and I think that's going to bring a lot of excitement You know, there's a heck of a lot of people in the Latin American community that it's not the same wrestling as they watched with their grandparents or that they grew up on. It's not the characters like that anymore. And I think that'll maybe bring back some excitement back to back to the old times of watching. And we certainly aren't going to be completely traditional, but we're going to do some traditional things with some new things. And it's called Lucha Union, but there will be some pieces that aren't necessarily lucha thrown in.
Hmm.
I would say it'd be like a pinata with a bunch of stuff, and there's something that everybody will like inside.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the way we're looking at the roster now, I'd say just around half or just over half are like luchadors, and
Yes,
the other portion of them are like traditional wrestlers. So
gringos.
gringos, and so like the other thing I like about this whole project itself is I'm able to dive in from a creative standpoint and get more educated on the history of lucha libre. I wasn't always so educated on that, and so
Fair
I like
enough.
I like the challenge of it. I think this is something new enough where it's not boring. It's something different in the market. If you look at the market and the independent wrestling scene, let's just say in Minnesota, where we're located, the lucha libre community has has a few different options, but
Yes, yes, they do.
nothing really outside of the Twin Cities. And so I think
Right,
that bringing something that new and fresh to, frankly, a geography that hasn't seen professional wrestling in a while will be exactly what that community needs, and it's going to be something that they can rally around and unify over.
right. And see, we want to put a product on that you can bring your kids and not be like, oh my God, I should not have brought them to this. This is outrageous.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to have a family friendly thing. And with wrestling, there's always some things that are a little violent or a little edgier, but we're not going for that shock appeal necessarily of blood and guts and, you know,
Yeah.
crazy things like that. And a lot of that too is having the lucha guys, but also having guys that wrestle other styles and mashing them together. Um, for one, it's going to put together some interesting dynamics that you don't get to see all the time. So maybe something that's a little fresh for you. And two, there's something for everybody. You can come and watch the show, and maybe one match isn't your favorite or whatever, but maybe the next match is awesome. It's it's going to have a piece for everybody. I would like to think that's what I'm trying to shoot for.
Yeah. And there's a bit of there's certainly an authenticity element to it. And authenticity is such a word that gets thrown around quite a bit. I think it's something that each one of us have to think about in our daily lives. Are we being the most authentic version of ourselves that we possibly can be? And so again, with this wrestling element, this Lucha Union promotion that we're going to run, we're not trying to be TNA, we're not trying to be WWE, we're not trying to be AEW. We're trying to be something very new, something very specific, and something that people want to watch. But is going to be very authentically ours. It's not something that's been done necessarily before, or if it has, just not recently. So
Right.
I think that's going to be important.
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as being authentic, you know, people always are like, I should be like this guy, or this is my hero, I should be like them, or whatever. It's good to have role models and things like that. That's awesome. But you know what? Be you, because
Mhm.
you are the only you in the universe. You're the only one. So make yourself awesome. Make your
Yeah.
be real, be you, you know.
It's a tough thing to do. I've got
Oh
like
yeah.
my kids are in school right now, right? So, I'll talk specifically about my boys. They're in eighth grade, and if you guys remember eighth grade, that is such a tough age. Lots and lots of changes. I specifically hated middle school because of like there's just so much going on, man. Um, Eighth grade is all right too, because like you're at the top of the heap, sixth, seventh, and eighth grade, middle school, if that's the way yours is set up. But like mine was, and so eighth grade, it kind of seventh grade sucked, sixth grade was scary, eighth grade, you're just like over it. But there's so many changes happening too. You're getting ready to go into high school and stuff, and it's you want to be, we talked about community earlier. I think that's why kids often like wear, like if you're wearing your socks a certain way, or you're wearing this brand, or you're styling your hair a certain way, they all do that because they're trying to be part of a community. They're trying to be part of something bigger than what they are. It doesn't necessarily mean they're followers. It just means that like they're trying to learn their way, right?
They want to fit in. They're
Yeah,
not necessarily following, but they want to be included with everything else.
yeah,
In that time of the life, the kids they're pretty brutal.
yeah, they are.
They say a lot of things that they don't think about how bad they really hurt people.
Yeah,
They're not mature enough to realize, like, gee, the guy's grandmother passed away last week. I should maybe not make fun of that.
yeah,
They don't understand that. Or you got glasses or braces, dumb shit like that. But I think everybody out there, as well as us, and everybody has dealt with that shit.
yeah, dude. I I've been bullied. I probably have bullied. I know I have. I've picked on
Hmm.
people, and
Sure.
there's a lot of stuff like being, in middle school or in high school that I wish I could do a little bit differently. But also, like, we're kids, and you live and you learn, and you move on, and you develop and you grow, and hopefully you stay out of prison. Like that's
That's a
kind of the goal,
great
right?
first step. If you can stay out of
Yes.
the clink, then you get a chance to do other shit you like to do, like
Yeah,
go out for pizza.
that's true. That's true. So yeah, I just think that like it's really tough sometimes to be as authentic as you can, while also feeling a sense of belonging to those around you. Now, if you're in high school right now, or if you're in middle school or even in elementary school and you're listening to this, just know this: after you get done with 12th grade and you move on, whether you go to college or you don't, you will find that life is just much different because you can kind of dig around, figure out who you are, and do your own thing. And that's okay.
Right.
The friends that you have now, you probably won't be friends with them when you're done. And I know that's tough for you to believe.
It's rare.
Um, it's very rare. Doesn't mean you hate each other or anything else, but people just grow apart and
You
life happens.
just lose track of people. They end up
Yeah.
moving, or
Yep.
you just get involved with a woman, or you have a family or something, and your attention goes this way, and suddenly you don't see each other as much. Just
Yeah.
not any bad intentions or anybody did anything wrong.
Yep.
It's just
There's a guy that I used to, we talked about how I saw Casanova here a few months ago. Casanova,
yeah,
yeah, Casanova's a guy that I wrestled. We were tag team partners. I had my last match against him. So we beat each other up and we traveled together. And he was one of the groomsmen in my wedding, and I adore him. And
yeah. He's a
he's
damn
got
good guy.
he
Damn
is
good guy.
He's got 4 kids. I've got 3 kids. He lives in Iowa. I live in Minnesota. We don't see each other anymore because we're not on the road. I happened to be in Des Moines a few weeks back, and I called him up and we went out to dinner. And you know what? I hugged that guy and I told him I loved him. And
Good.
we hadn't talked to each other in probably 3-4 years. Like actually had a conversation. And it wasn't
Okay.
because we were mad at each other. It's just because life sometimes gets in the way,
Well,
and so yeah.
time really does fly. I think every year you put on the odometer there, that it seems to go faster and faster. And pretty soon it's, oh, geez, it's been 4 years since I talked to him. Like, holy crap.
Yeah,
But
it's
I
crazy.
think kudos to you, man, because honestly, I'm glad you told him that you love him and that he means something to you. I think oftentimes we don't do that because it can be kind of scary to say. But I want them to know that I care about people too. There's a few people that I've told, and not just my kids or you're my girlfriend or that kind of stuff, my parents, but people that have come through my life, and just let them know how important that they are and how much you value them and are thankful to have them.
You know,
It's
yeah,
we lose people way too quick oftentimes, and There's a lot of wish you would have's, you know.
Dude, there's I lost my dad when I was 19.
Right.
There's 100,000 things I wish I could say to him. And
Absolutely.
I've always been in that mindset. It's like, you don't necessarily get tomorrow with that person, with
Nope.
anybody. And so you need to make sure that, that, and this I think came with time and maturity for me, but it's just like, you need to let the people around you know how much they mean to you before it's too late, because you don't know what that's going to look like. And so I try to think about that pretty regularly and live by that kind of code. But again, it can be hard. But if you're out there, like, just know that the people around you that you love and adore, they need to know about it. Make sure you tell them. Make sure you tell them, because
Absolutely.
they might be going through something too, and they might need to hear it. You know.
You don't ever know what anybody's going through. You can call and talk to somebody that you haven't talked for a long time, and it's kind of a morbid thought maybe, but they could have been tying the rope out in the garage to hang themselves when you called.
Yeah.
And suddenly they realize, holy shit, like I matter. This voice from the past has told me that he misses seeing me, and God, maybe things aren't as bad. Maybe I do matter.
Yeah.
You don't know. You
Yeah.
never,
You're
never
right.
know.
Yeah, and some of that comes, there's always stress involved as well. So being able to like balance your life is also crucial. So like right now I'm thinking about how in the world am I making this happen? I'm trying to, balance my family, my podcast, my job, Lucha Union, my speaking career. There's so many things that I'm trying to balance. And it's hard. It's incredibly hard, but I think that there's
Hmm.
a lot of value in what I'm doing, and I think that kind of keeps me moving. So handling stress behind the scenes, you know, have somebody you can talk to. This is exactly what we're talking about right now. Is like, reach
That's
out to those
huge.
people. Yeah,
That's
reach out to
that's
those people.
huge. Hmm. Absolutely.
When we talk about like managing stress, Randy, what are like, if there's like one piece of advice you would give to anybody to tell them how to manage stress without talking about masturbation, what would it be?
Shit.
I just
Uh,
want to make sure. I want to make sure that we stay on topic. That's
old Mike thinks he's Henny Youngman. Hey, take my wife, please.
well. If I knew what that reference meant, maybe I would laugh.
Well, that's because you're an uneducated fucking dolt.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
suck my thumb.
Okay.
Anyways, I know
How
what
do
you
you manage
thought.
stress, Randy?
All right, back to topic. Take a second. You know, take a second. Go go somewhere by yourself. Go outside. Go for a walk. Do something, and let it sink in. What's happened? What's going on? What went wrong? Wrap your head around that. Okay, and once you do that, could take 10 minutes. Could take an hour and a half. Could take a day or two. Once you figure out what's going on, then you can rationally think about moving forward and trying to address the problem. I would say take a little time for yourself. Just let it decompress a little bit and let it sink in, so that way you can think, okay, this is what it is. Now there's these couple of different solutions that I could do. What works the best? What is feasible? What's not? And then you can move forward with it.
Yeah, that's great
And,
advice.
and not all the time you get the option of having all the time in the world, but you can certainly take 10-20 minutes and just go outside by yourself or something, or go to that spot that you love, whether your man cave, go out in the garage by yourself, you know um whatever it is. Go do you, and then readdress the situation. And I think that works very well with arguments with spouse, or decompress. Don't say shit that you wish you wouldn't have. Take your time and then move forward.
Very valid advice. I'm sitting here trying to think about actually the things I do when I'm stressed out. So I think about like
Calls me.
I do. I call Randy,
Yeah, Mike.
but but so historically for me, and these are good things, but historically for me, September and October are incredibly busy for me, and I mean slammed, and this year is no exception. So in addition to all this like wrestling stuff that I have going on, and I have like dates almost every weekend of something wrestling related in the month of October that I'm doing. I'm also coaching youth football right now, 3 or 4 nights a week. And I've been doing that. This is my 5th year, right? And so I've been doing that, and then my kids are back in school, and there's all these things going on at work, and there's just a million things. Like I am so busy all the way from essentially August 1st through Thanksgiving. Like that's really my peak time of year for me to be busy. So I'm just sitting here thinking, like, well, in the past, what have I specifically done? I'm sitting here preaching about, like, oh, you need to have an outlet. Like, but what am I really doing? I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, well, it isn't uncommon for me to take more time off in the fall than I do any other time of year from work. And okay, so now I'm going to take a couple of days off. What am I doing in those couple of days? And I'm sitting here
Lots of
thinking,
whacking off.
I'm thinking in my brain, I'm thinking, okay, I'm doing laundry. I'm doing,
That's why he's doing laundry.
I'm I'm mowing mowing the yard. I'm running around, I'm cleaning the house, I'm doing like all of these things, right? I'm exercising. I don't know. Like I want to say that like when I want to de-stress, I guess, that I have an actual outlet that I go to. I don't know that I actually do. And that kind of bothers me sitting here thinking about it. Like I enjoy sitting down and watching a movie, but I don't go, oh, I'm stressed out, I'm going to go watch a movie. Because frankly, sometimes those movies stress me out. Oh, I love horror movies, and it's not
You should watch
necessarily
some dumb comedies, Mike.
true. But like, you get what I'm saying, though. Is I am sitting here preaching it. Find a way to find an outlet for your stress. I don't know that I do. I don't know that, and if I do, it's escaping me what it is because I'm I don't know. Like in my so here's what I'm thinking about. If I'm sitting on a beach near the ocean in a chair under some shade and I'm just sitting there enjoying the weather, is that a stress-free environment? Because now I'm thinking about I'm going to get sunburn. I don't drink, so I'm just going to sit here, like, you know what I mean? Like I don't. I got to figure out what it is, man. Because now, honestly, I don't know what I do to not be stressed. I don't know what that is.
Think about it. Give you the homework thing for the next episode. Think about something that you could do, or maybe something that you do without even realizing. Because
Yeah,
it's a valued thing. And I wasn't kidding about getting phone calls, but that's when the stresses went, and he's about ready to derail.
that
Then
is
he
true.
calls. Then he
Yep.
calls. Maybe there's stuff that certain things that you
Maybe
could
that's
do.
it. Maybe I just call a friend. Maybe that's what I do to de-stress. But man, I don't know what it is. And if that is it, maybe that is it. But I guess that'll give me follow-up talking points. So hold me accountable to that next time we get together and we're sitting here on this podcast.
Yeah.
Make sure I did my homework
Yeah,
and tell
yeah.
you what it is.
Try to remember that. I'll try to remember too to tell you that, like, hey man, what's going on?
Do you have a de-stress activity? Like what do you do? I know what you talked about, but what do you do?
I go back in time, and not like Marty McFly. I don't go back and try to bang my mother or something.
Okay, that's try. You only try that once, right?
It didn't work worth a shit. My DeLorean only went 88.
That's all you needed to go, buddy.
I know. I was waiting
Okay.
for the correction.
What is it that you do?
It's behind me.
It's a large man behind you. Oh, the toys. Oh, I got it.
I go back in time a little bit. You know, I like to go to antique stores. I like
Hmm.
to go to flea markets and just kind of walk around and chill. I got nothing major going on. And maybe I find something cool that I never had when I was a kid. Maybe I find something that I did have and I don't have it anymore. But, I like to collect. It takes my mind away from work
Yeah.
or any kind of bullshit, arguments and shit that just suck and drain the hell out of you. Just gives me some time, you know.
So collecting and the hunt.
That's what yeah, the hunt. I mean, I can go home after that and not have anything. It's
Right.
damn rare, but I can, and I'll be okay with that.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, at least you know what yours is, and I got to continue to think about mine. All right, man. Well, to all of you out there, if you're listening,
Man, well,
if you're out there and you're paying any attention to this whatsoever, start thinking about what is it that you use to de-stress. Do you have a thing? Randy does. I don't, or at least not that I know of. And maybe that's your homework for next time as well, as you have to think about what that is or what it's going to be and hold yourself accountable to it.
Mike, there was another one too that when I was younger, I wasn't a very popular kid. I had a lot of good friends and stuff like that, but I wasn't the jock guy. I wasn't the cool guy. Um, and it seems silly, and people give it a real bad thing, but I used to go home and I'd play a hell of a lot of video games.
Mm-hmm.
I would play these ones where you delve in and it takes you 200 hours to finish it,
Sure.
and you just get lost in this other world for a while. It's
Yeah.
like watching a movie or anything else. You
Yeah.
just get away for a little bit.
It's the escape. I'm
And
not a video game guy, but I get it.
balancing between that and going overboard, but it certainly can be a healthy way to do things.
Yep.
Unless you're, not working and you're playing 23 hours a day and trying to stay up and you're verbally harassing like 8-year-olds that are playing on the headset and stuff. That can be fun.
True.
But yeah, if you're going that way, that's probably an indicator that maybe a little going outside and doing some other things too.
Yeah. You're right.
You know what, Mike? Honestly, I think you cook to a
Yeah, you're probably
degree.
right.
To
Yeah.
a
Yeah, that's probably it.
degree. To
Hmm.
a degree.
Yeah.
Not always, but there's often times you're posting a picture. Hey, this is what we're gonna have tonight. Kind of thing, and I
Yeah.
think that's a good thing for you. You get outside in the grill and everything, and
When I bought my big offset smoker, people are like, "Man, how are you going to cook on that in the wintertime? You're going to have to like tend to fire pretty regularly." And I'm like, I like doing those things. I want to be hands-on with my like cooking. And so you're right. Maybe that is it. I just probably haven't been cooking enough. And I now sitting here saying that out loud, I literally cooked dinner last night outside and I'm making dinner again tonight. Like, so yeah, I guess I do cook a lot. So there it is. There it is. Um, we talked about community and connection before. I do want to talk a little bit about um, why why is November 22nd so important? That will be the launch of the Lucha Union product. That will be the first show that will take place at the El Poral Ballroom in Austin, Minnesota. Randy, I think that it's time to just have a quick conversation about what November 22nd means to you.
that will be the second most important date in wrestling for me. April 15th would be the first, and that was the first time that I got to get in the ring in the very same building that we're going to run this show in. And
Over 25 years ago.
I loved wrestling, but when I got to go in there, it was like a dream come true. And I know that's cheesy and stuff, but anybody that's done that knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And it's a very real thing. Like, oh my God, I got to do this.
Yep.
I got to do this, like my heroes. And um, man, it's an eye opener. Now, I went through my career differently than Mike did, and I loved wrestling, and I loved signing autographs for little kids because who the hell am I? I'm a guy that drives a forklift, and then I go and wrestle. But to this kid, I'm somebody, and
Yeah.
that's a real thing too. But I decided too, more so than wrestling, I wanted to tell stories. I wanted to be the guy that decides what happens. And so, like the grand great Wizard of Oz, I can look out from behind the curtain and I can see people having a good time with their kids, or out on a date and they're having fun and just relaxing, maybe laughing a little bit, enjoying something that I did or had a part of doing. That's so rewarding to me that April, November 22nd will be the first time that it's on my shoulders completely. And I am so excited. And once again, it's kind of a surreal thing, like being in the ring. It is a dream come true. It really, really is. And Mike is the owner. He's the promoter, if you want to call him that. He's the guy. But he said, "Hey, I'm gonna take the training wheels off, and you run with this thing, and you just let me know what if you need help, you need something. I'll let you know if there's something that's way out of the realm. But you run with this thing." And to have that amount of confidence laid on me, that's a rare thing, and I'm so grateful. I really, really am.
I can't wait to, and I'm pretty sure we need to video it. But the when you and I walk into that building together for the first time, I've been there once in recent history to go there and look at it and make sure it's something we could do. But to walk in there with you, that'll be your first time there since that April 15th, 2000 show, and I think that to capture that on video is going to be special. And
Hmm.
I also think that it would be important for us to maybe try to get there early enough on November 22nd to set up um, an area for you and I to do an on location podcast episode with the ballroom as the backdrop. I think that would be very, very
Man,
cool. Yeah.
that'd be crazy.
Yeah, we get that recorded early enough in the day, or as they're setting up the ring or whatever it is, and the ballroom is the backdrop to you and I being in the same room together doing the podcast. I think that'll be very, very cool.
Absolutely. And it'll also be the first time we've ever been in the same room doing an episode, period.
Yeah, that is also true. So, if you know anything about our history of doing this podcast so far, if it can go wrong, it will. So that might
Most
add
of
to
the
the
shit's
charm of
on
it.
his fault. I'm an all-star every time, unless I have shit in my mouth and I go 6 seconds to derail the program.
That's true.
Other than
That's
that, I can make it work.
That is true. For all of you listening to the podcast, we have a very, very special tidbit of information for you. If you're listening to this podcast as it airs, the day that it drops, just know the tickets to the Lucha Union show are on sale right now.
It's live.
It
It's
is
live
live.
now.
Yep. You can go to luchaunion.com and buy your tickets. They are $20 a piece, general admission. Buy them as fast as you can. The actual public sale of these, we're not going to start advertising it until September 10th, 2025. So if you're
So
listening to this,
here's your chance. This is the
yeah,
first time that's been mentioned.
this show
This is the
will
first.
sell out. There is no doubt in my mind
Yes.
this is going to be a sellout crowd that night. If you want to get tickets and you're going to go, it is $20 general admission. It's first come first serve. There's no discount for anything. And now I will say this: it is also $25 at the door. So if you wait to buy your tickets the day of the show, either A, we could be sold out, or B, you're going to have to pay $5 more per ticket to make that happen.
So save yourself 20% in this day and age where everything's so damn expensive. Save yourself some money for popcorn or autograph pictures or something.
Yeah, there will be a litany of merchandise available that night as well. I have. Look at this. For those of you that are watching this, you'll understand. If you're not watching this, just know there is a giant plastic bag in my hand full of lucha masks.
Sin cara.
All kinds of masks here that will be for sale for kids that night. I should also say kids 5 and under will be free. So if you're 6 years old and up, you're $20 a head. If you're 5 and under, you are free. And we're going on the honor system on that. What else is going on? Oh, Randy, speaking of merchandise, again, this is one of the benefits of watching this is you get to see this stuff. If you're listening to it, we appreciate you, but you're going to want to go watch the video. There's new Cowboy Gator McGraw merchandise afoot. Okay, I'm going to go back to talking about Lucha Union in a second.
Afoot.
But let's not forget about Cowboy Gator
the game
McGraw's
is afoot.
Match on November 1st in North St. Paul, Minnesota. My return match, and we are 59 days away from that right now. And
but who's counting?
Who's counting at all? The gear is made. I've got micro brawlers, the little action figures. Those are on the water. Those are on their way to me right now. All kinds of really cool stuff ahead. But these just came in, and I got to show these to you. If you remember, there was a thing called Wrestling Buddies. And we're talking in like early 1990s. The original set was like Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior. Who are the other two? Ted DiBiase and the Macho Man Randy Savage. Macho King, I believe.
How about the others, though?
There were so many. Yeah, it was Legion of Doom.
Big Boss Man.
And Jake the Snake.
Jake the Snake Roberts.
Mm-hmm. And then there was going to be a Diesel and a Bret Hart, but those never got released.
For obvious reasons.
Anyway, so I had an opportunity to get some made. They're a much smaller version. The actual Wrestling Buddies were about 22 inches tall. These ones are about 12 inches tall, but there's a Cowboy Gator McGraw Wrestling Buddy. There it is. There's the front of him, and here's the back design. This is the exact design that is used for my micro brawlers, by the way. But these will be for sale certainly at every show that I'm appearing on between now and my November 1st match. If they sell out before that, I'm sorry. There are only 25 of them made, so I don't necessarily know that I'm going to get more made, but if you want one, they will be available. And what else, Randy? Let's go back to talking about Lucha Union. Sorry.
There is the cheat sheet on the back vest too, just in case you forget and somebody asks you who it is. Like, oh, Richard Taster.
Oh, Jesus. Let's see.
Incidentally, one other thing quick before we go forward.
Yeah.
I thought micro brawler was what you called something else. Your micro brawler.
That's just what your girlfriend calls it, Randy. Anyway, hey, November 22nd, Lucha Union, Austin, Minnesota at the El Peral Ballroom. Get your tickets now at luchaunion.com. They are $20 in advance, $25 at the door. If you or somebody that you know is looking to do some advertising with us, please feel free to reach out to us on the social medias and let us know. We are looking for all kinds of sponsors. We need all the help we can get. We will be having an opportunity for people to advertise directly on the ring canvas itself.
Yep.
On the ring apron. We're going to be making a crap ton of flyers. You will be able to advertise on those, and you'll get some free tickets out of the deal too if you choose to advertise with us. So we would love that. We would love for you to be a part of this historic event in Austin, Minnesota. Couple of other things we want to talk about. Let's talk about where they can find you, Randy. If people want to reach out and find you, where can they find you?
They can find me right here, of course, with the longest handle, not the micro brawler.
Yeah. Emphasis on the micro.
Yep. You're going to make me actually say this?
Go ahead. You wrote it. You're going to say it. What is your Instagram handle?
At Randy_Herrig_Wrestling W tomorrow.
Okay.
He's so fucking jealous. It's unreal. He brings it up every episode.
It is the most effective handle.
Mine's not very big. Yours is.
I have Instagram handle envy is what it is.
Because mine. Mark.
Mine is simply at Gator McGraw, MAGRAW at Gator McGraw. You can also find this podcast at WWT.pod on Instagram. We are on TikTok at Wrestling with Tomorrow, and you can find all of these videos on YouTube at Kenny Confidence. And last but not least, if you're looking for someone to do a keynote speech at your next event, feel free to reach out to me at kennyconfidence.com. Randy, I think I've hit all of the ways for us to get paid. What are we missing? What are we going to close with?
I'm going to close with something that's ridiculous and something that's also a great way to decompress. You tell me which one you want first.
Let's go with the decompress.
Okay. In my searches and things, I hit up a lot of Goodwills and a lot of other things too, because people throw away things that are awesome. So along with toys and antiques and things, I buy some books. So, I actually will show you just a couple here that I just got. I got this one. It's called No One Gets Out of Here Alive. It's Jim Morrison's best-selling biography. And you can learn about him and how he did more drugs than you could give a Shetland pony without dying. Secondly, have a little fun with your reading. You got some little Mad, like the magazine comic strip books. You couldn't get by with this anymore. But
True.
this is an oldie. One of my probably top 10 or 15 movies. I got this. Stay Gold, Pony Boy. The Outsiders. Hey, yo, not those Outsiders. And if you've ever watched True Blood, this is the first book of the Sookie Stackhouse books that led up to True Blood. It's called Dead by Day by Charlene Harris. So that one's actually a hardcover, and you'd be proud of me. There's no pictures.
Wow. Now all you got to do is learn how to read, and you're going to be set.
Don't project on me. you with the fucking 3-year-old vocabulary while I'm telling you about your gullet. Remember that one?
That is an astute observation, my friend.
Mm-hmm. Now, you want to see like the odd and the asinine?
Oh, well, why not?
Okay, folks, if you want to see the asinine, it's not my video. It's a picture of him. This is odd, though. So I don't have a Samoa Joe, so I just picked one up for very, very cheap.
You're talking about action figures now, for those of you listening.
I am, and it's a AEW one from the Unrivaled collection, and it's not necessarily the best face sculpt, but if you know Samoa Joe, he always comes out with the towel around his neck. This one evidently comes out with a beach towel, and also, look at how small the guy's freaking hands are. Samoa Joe is a big, beefy, wide guy. Look at how small the hand. Look at how small the hands are.
Those are some tiny hands.
Like Deadpool when he gets it shot off, he has the little baby leg and shit. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's just asinine. I didn't know it until I got it, but it's a good piece.
There it is.
And I know I've showed you before. I'll show you this one last thing, and then we're out the door. But here's a grail piece from my collection. It's Mark's Toys from 1967. This is the Creature from the Black Lagoon, and
love it.
This does not do it justice.
It's beautiful.
It is so detailed, especially for back then. It's really tough to show on here, but such a cool piece.
Yeah, dude.
And I'm glad to have it.
It looks very cool. Any closing comments for us today, Randy?
I think I've done enough here.
You think you've done enough? Well, thank you, everybody, for joining in on this latest episode of Wrestling with Tomorrow. I really hope that you have the ability to join us either November 1st at my last wrestling match. I'd love to meet you if I haven't already, or come and see us at Lucha Union on November 22nd, or both.
Love to see you there.
Yeah. Yep. But let's end with this: flexibility, authenticity, and community. That's how we fight the battles in wrestling and in real life.
And
Have a
knowing
great
is
day,
half the
everybody.
battle.
There it is. Thank you, everybody.